The cowboy's brother had stopped breathing. And Clara was the one woman everyone warned him never to trust. But when she grabbed his arm and whispered, "If you want him alive, trust me," Wyatt had only one choice left. What happened next? Watch the full video and subscribe to our page to discover the whole story. Before we start the story, tell me in the comments, where are you listening from and what time is right now? It was after midnight when someone knocked on Clara Bennett's cabin door. The sound was so hard that frost fell from the window frame. Outside, the wind howled across the frozen land. Clara stopped sewing and listened. Nobody came to her cabin at night unless they were lost, desperate, or ashamed to be seen visiting her. Another knock came. "Ma'am, please." Clara opened the door halfway. A tall cowboy stood outside, covered in snow. Behind him, a young man lay unconscious across a trembling horse. Blood had soaked the cloth around his side. "Are you Clara Bennett?" the cowboy asked. "Yes." "My name is Wyatt Cole. This is my brother, Ethan. Folks said you know how to treat wounds." Clara's face tightened. For 3 years, no one had trusted her hands with a life. "You should take him to Dr. Pierce," she said quietly. "He wasn't there." "The road to Marlow is long." "He won't survive the road." Ethan gave a weak groan. Clara looked at his pale face and the blood on his clothes. Then she stepped back and opened the door wide. "Bring him inside." Wyatt carried his brother to the heavy kitchen table. Clara moved quickly. "Take off his coat. Build the fire. Bring water. And hold this lamp." Wyatt obeyed every word. Soon the table was covered with clean cloth, scissors, thread, a bottle of spirits, and old medical tools. Clara examined Ethan's wound. Her face was calm, her movements careful. Wyatt watched her closely. This was not the reckless woman the town had warned him about. She knew exactly what she was doing. Then Clara picked up a curved needle. Her hand trembled. Only once, but Wyatt saw it. He suddenly understood. Clara was not afraid of blood. She was afraid of failing again. 3 years earlier, Clara had been one of the most trusted healers around Marlow. Her mother had taught her how to care for people since childhood. Clara learned to listen before touching, to watch a patient's eyes, and to understand when fear made people hide their pain. By the age of 26, people called for Clara when children burned with fever, when ranch hands were badly hurt, and when Dr. Samuel Pierce could not arrive in time. Then Henry Whitaker became sick. Henry, the only son of Thomas Whitaker, returned from a cattle drive with a dangerous fever and severe pain. Clara knew something was seriously wrong and sent for Dr. Pierce. The doctor came, examined Henry, and decided the illness was less serious than Clara feared. He gave the family hope and left. But by nightfall, Henry was much worse. Thomas begged Clara to do something. So she stayed. She worked through the night and tried everything she knew. Henry died before morning. After that, the truth changed. People said Clara had interfered. Thomas said his son might have lived if Clara had known her place. Dr. Pierce knew Clara had not caused Henry's death, but he said nothing. He was afraid of losing his reputation. His silence destroyed Clara. Patients stopped coming. Her treatment room was taken away. Her debts grew. She had to sell her mother's medical tools. The same people who once begged for her help began crossing the street to avoid her. So Clara moved to a lonely cabin beyond the town and started mending clothes instead of healing people. Now, 3 years later, another dying man lay on her table. Clara closed her eyes for one short moment. Then she looked at Wyatt. "Hold the lamp steady, Mr. Cole." She bent over Ethan and began again. Suddenly, Ethan's body went still. Wyatt's face turned white. "Ethan?" No answer. "He isn't breathing." Wyatt rushed toward the door. "I'll get someone!" "Wyatt!" Clara grabbed his sleeve. He turned toward her. "If you want him alive," she said, her eyes full of fear and determination, "trust me." For a few seconds, neither moved. Then Wyatt looked into her eyes and nodded. "All right." No questions, no doubt, just trust. "Hold the lamp higher," Clara said. Wyatt did. Minutes felt like hours. Then Ethan suddenly coughed. A weak breath entered his lungs. Wyatt closed his eyes in relief. Clara did not celebrate. She finished the treatment, stitched the wound, covered Ethan with blankets, and watched him through the night. Near dawn, Wyatt asked, "Will he live?" "I think so," Clara answered. It was not a promise, but it was hope. Over the next few days, Ethan developed a fever. Clara stayed beside him, changing cool cloths and watching his breathing. Wyatt refused to leave. He slept against the wall in his coat and woke every time his brother moved. Soon he began helping Clara without being asked. He chopped wood. He repaired her broken gate. He fixed things around the cabin. Clara noticed, but Wyatt never acted like he was paying her for saving Ethan. Then something unexpected happened. People started coming to Clara again. A mother brought her coughing son. An old ranch hand came with an injured hand. Clara treated them both. When poor people offered money, she often gave part of it back. Wyatt watched everything. He saw how carefully Clara washed her hands, how neatly she kept her herbs, and how she forgot her coffee until it went cold because she was too busy caring for others. By the fourth night, Ethan's fever finally broke. He woke up and asked for bacon. Wyatt laughed with relief. Later, he looked at Clara. "You saved him." "He survived," she replied. "That ain't the same thing." "It's the only answer I give." Their eyes met. Something quiet changed between them. When Ethan became strong enough to ride, Wyatt took him home. But 2 days later, Wyatt returned alone, with coffee, lamp oil, and a new window pane. "I didn't ask for these," Clara said. "I know." "Then why bring them?" "Because you were almost out." Soon Wyatt kept returning. Sometimes he brought an excuse. Sometimes he brought none. One day, while cleaning Clara's old storage shed, Wyatt found a wooden medical case and several old letters. He opened them. "Clara saved my husband's hand." "Clara stayed all night with our baby." "Thank you for bringing our men home alive." Wyatt looked toward the cabin. The town had once depended on Clara. Then it had chosen to forget. But peace did not last. A deputy arrived with an official notice. Thomas Whitaker had filed a complaint against Clara. He accused her of practicing medicine illegally and endangering people. A hearing was called. If Thomas won, Clara could lose her right to heal forever, and be forced out of the territory. On Saturday, Marlowe's meeting hall was full. Thomas spoke first. He talked about his dead son, rules, licenses, and danger. He asked the town if they wanted another young man to die because of Clara. Clara sat silently. Then Wyatt stood. "My brother was dying on a winter road," he said. "I went to Dr. Pierce. He wasn't there. Clara Bennett was the only person willing to open her door." He pointed toward Ethan. "He is standing here because she did." Thomas's face hardened. "One lucky outcome does not erase the past." "No," Wyatt replied, "but the truth might." Then Wyatt turned toward Dr. Pierce. "Where were you the night Henry Whitaker died?" The room became silent. Dr. Pierce slowly stood. For 3 years he had hidden behind his reputation. Finally, he told the truth. "I examined Henry," he said. "I believe the illness was less serious than it was. Clara knew something was wrong. I saw her concern. Then I left." Thomas stared at him. Pierce continued, his voice shaking. "When Henry became worse, she stayed. She tried to save him. I knew she did not cause his death." "Then why did you stay silent?" Thomas asked. Pierce lowered his eyes. "Because I was afraid of losing my standing." The room was filled with shocked whispers. "And she lost everything instead." Thomas looked at Clara. His anger slowly broke under the weight of the truth. "My son is still dead," he whispered. Clara stood. "Yes," she said gently. "I know." "You expect me to forgive you?" "No." Clara looked around the room at the people who had abandoned her. "I don't need this town to love me. I need you to stop standing between sick people and the help they ask for." No one could answer. Before sunset, the complaint was withdrawn. Later, Wyatt found Clara standing alone on a hill behind her cabin. He carried a narrow wooden case. Clara looked down and froze. It was her mother's old medical case, the one she had been forced to sell. "Where did you get it?" she whispered. "I found it at the county seat." "How much?" "Doesn't matter." "It matters to me." Wyatt hesitated. "I sold 2 calves." Clara stared at him. "That money was for your ranch." "They were mine to sell." "You think buying these back fixes what happened?" "No," Wyatt said immediately. "I think they belonged in your hands." Clara opened the case. Inside were the tools she thought she had lost forever. Her fingers touched them gently. For the first time, she began to believe that maybe her life was not over. Weeks passed. A room near the coal ranch became Clara's treatment room. Later, Wyatt built her a separate clinic. Margaret planted herbs outside. Ethan helped put up a sign. It read, "Clara Bennett, healer and physician." People slowly returned. A ranch wife brought her sick child. A trail hand came with an injured ankle. An old man apologized before entering. Clara treated them all the same. No anger, no revenge, only clean cloth, careful hands, and quiet kindness. Even Dr. Pierce came one morning with medical supplies. Clara looked at him for a long time. Then she stepped aside and let him enter. He began helping twice a week, never again acting like he was above her. Thomas Whitaker stayed away until spring. Then Clara received a bank draft with one short message: for those who cannot pay. Clara did not speak about forgiveness, but she used the money to help poor patients. One evening, Wyatt found her sitting outside with another cup of cold coffee. "You forgot it again," he said.
"I know."
Their fingers touched as he handed it to her. "Are you happy here?" he asked. Clara looked at her clinic, her friends, the warm lights, and the life she had rebuilt.
"Yes."
Wyatt took a deep breath. "I used to think protecting a family meant land, strong fences, and a rifle over the door." Clara looked at him.
"And now?"
"Now I think some things only survive when someone trusts you enough to stand beside you." He removed his hat. "Clara Bennett, I'm not asking because you need saving." Her expression softened.
"I know."
"I'm asking because I want every morning I have left to begin with your coffee going cold somewhere near me." Clara laughed through tears. Then Wyatt held out his hand. "Marry me." Clara looked at her hands, the hands people had blamed, the hands she had hidden, the hands that had saved Ethan and brought her life back. Then she placed one of those hands in Wyatt's. She said, "Yes." 1 year later, another knock came after midnight. A frightened father stood outside the clinic holding his sick little girl. Behind Clara, Wyatt was already lighting the second lamp. The father looked at her. "Dr. Bennett?" Clara opened the door wider.
"Yes."
This time, no one warned him to stay away. No one whispered that her hands were dangerous. The people of Marlow had finally learned what Wyatt had learned on that cold winter night. Those hands had never been dangerous. They had always been a gift. And Clara's greatest courage was not proving the town wrong. It was opening her door again, even after the world had taught her how painful trust could be. And Wyatt's greatest gift was not saving her. It was seeing who she truly was, trusting what he saw, and standing beside her until she learned to trust herself again. Thank you so much for watching this story all the way till the end. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. It really helps us a lot. If you want to watch more exciting stories like this, don't forget to subscribe our page right now. Tell me in the comments, where are you listening from and what time is right now? And if this story touched your heart, please send some stars. Every single star gives us huge motivation to keep creating more amazing videos for you. See you in the next story. Take care of you, friends.